Greetings. This is Justin Allen with the Elite Nurse Practitioner. Welcome to the Elite Nurse Practitioner Show, podcast dedicated to nurse practitioner entrepreneurism and achieving financial freedom, where I talk directly with nurse practitioners who need help. Listen up, our market is saturated. Jobs can be scarce. We are underpaid. We are undervalued. We are taken advantage of by the sharks within the healthcare system, and frankly, screw that. Sick of it, and it's time for a change. And listen, I'm here to help make that happen. We are powerful. We can forge a path where we are in control of our career and ultimately our financial and personal well-being. You do not need to submit to healthcare administrators and your doctor overlords. You do not have to take the measly salary. You do not have to work 50 to 60 hours a week. There is a different way, and I'm here to show you that path. This podcast is raw and unfiltered. I have not talked to the nurse practitioners in this podcast prior to the call outside of an email exchange to schedule the episode. What you're about to listen to is a consultation session between a nurse practitioner and myself. It is real, it is unscripted, it is unplanned, and I have no idea what we're going to talk about. Anything and everything can happen during our conversation. The nurse practitioners in these episodes are struggling with an issue in their professional or financial life, and they have reached out to me for help. My goal is to help the nurse practitioner with actionable advice that will enhance and improve their professional, business, and financial life. My other goal is to hopefully help my nurse practitioner sisters and brothers build a more productive, powerful, and free life. So I hope the content and information within these podcast episodes does just that. All right, onto the episode. Hello, everyone. Today, we'll be talking to Kim, who is a family nurse practitioner practicing out of Oregon. She is working full-time in her own aesthetics practice, where she provides Botox, fillers, threads, PRF, Sculptura, and B12 injections. She's needing assistance growing and scaling her business as she expands and opens another location. She's also needing help marketing and integrating additional service lines, such as weight loss and IV infusion, into her practice to expand her revenue streams. Hey, Kim, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for hopping on this call. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's get to it. So how long have you been a nurse practitioner for? And, give me the backstory here on how you started your own aesthetics practice.
Okay. So I've been a nurse practitioner for 4 years, and I've been injecting for that long too in medical aesthetics. The first 3 years I worked for somebody as a 1099 employee. And then the past year, almost a year, I opened up my own practice. I have one nurse who works for me. And then I'm hoping to open up a second practice and hire another nurse to work for me at my second location, which is about an hour and a half away. I've always known that I wanted to do aesthetics or work in plastic surgery. That's kind of why I got into nursing in the first place. And I always knew I wanted to be an NP as well. Went into nursing school knowing that. But 4 years is how long I've been an NP. I've worked in urgent care, which I recently quit my job to do this full time.
Perfect. Okay. And how's business? Obviously, it's doing good if you're getting ready to open up another location. Yeah.
Yeah, it has been doing really well, much better than I had thought. It was really nice to have the 1099 employee position first because I was able to build a nice clientele before I opened up on my own, so that my first location has, a baseline of clients, which has been growing and doing really well. And then I hired the nurse to help me out over there. So I'm hoping to open up a second practice and keep growing.
Yeah, absolutely. What are your expenses and income like, if you don't mind sharing?
Okay, so the first 6 months of this year so far, I've done about 130,000 overall. And then expenses, that's kind of where I don't have like a very good setup business plan. I didn't go into debt buying or starting these practices, which was really helpful. So I don't really know exactly, I don't have a set amount that I'm spending each month. I'm trying to just keep track and paying off every month what I'm purchasing, but it's probably about half of that as far as expenses go is what I'm making and the difference.
Well, that's pretty good. For 6 months,
Yeah, it was a great start to the year. I had a baby in the middle of all that. So it's been, So I'm hoping that it'll be steady growth every year once.
Yeah.
I was listening to your podcast actually about another injector who was having a really good growth. And it sounds like she was going to have like $1 million practice. And that was really intriguing.
Yeah, no, that was a good episode. Yeah, I absolutely agree. There's a lot of money to be made in aesthetics. The issue, though, is that the overhead's high too. So,
yes.
Even though you have $1 million, a year in revenue, what are your expenses? This stuff, it's expensive. It's not cheap.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
That is true. And when I buy like a round of Botox, I'm spending 15,000 at, each round that I purchase. So you're right. It is. There is a lot of overhead for sure.
Correct. So, profit margins for an aesthetics practice from people I've talked to are usually, 25, 30%. If you have employees and you have, an office and, when you factor everything in. So you really don't have any idea what your profit margin is?
No, I really do need to sit down with an accountant and get a lot better at this. But I would say I've really worked really hard on keeping my overhead low. Like my rent is only $300 a month. And then my second location, it's going to be $575. So I'm just not like jumping into these $2,000 rents. And I've just been doing like a small room is the way I've
Gotcha.
been the practice model I've been following. And then the other thing is I want to add on lasers, but of course those are very hefty payments and I haven't done that yet either. But that would be the other thing that I've thought about.
Sure. So the first 6 months, then I'm assuming it was a lot slower. You didn't really hit, this $20,000 a month in revenue kind of stuff.
No, I wouldn't say that. Yeah.
So, if you want to grow and scale this business, you got to know the numbers. I mean, you just got to, no one's going to ever be able to grow or scale a business and not know their numbers. You just can't. Okay.
Yeah.
So to grow and scale, you must know the numbers. So you got to figure this stuff out. All right. I mean, it's not that hard. Let me ask you this first. I'm assuming you have just one bank account and like one credit card for this?
Yes. Yep. One checking and one credit card. Yep.
Okay. So then this should be extremely easy to figure out. I mean, it's money in, money out. And then whatever's left over at the end of the month in your account is basically your profit. So yeah, with that in mind, what was the ending bank balance for May and then the ending bank balance for June? Subtract those two numbers and we got your profit.
Right now I have 30,000 in there in the checking account. Yeah. And I probably spent 20,000. So it's 50,000 before that.
Okay. So you've made a $30,000 profit.
They were just big months. I just had big months, but before that, it definitely wasn't that much. I've just had 2 big months.
Gotcha. So you made a $30,000 profit in 2 months.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's $15,000 a month. If you can keep this going, congratulations. You have a business that's 180,000 plus a year in profit. I mean, it's more than what most nurse practitioners make working full time, slaving away, working their ass off 45, 50 hours a week in a hospital.
Yep.
And how many hours a week are you working?
Well, I'm working more than I'd like to right now, just because I tried to open up the second practice and then so I'm working probably, 50 hours a week right now.
Okay. Gotcha. Sure. Yeah. But you're in growth. I mean, you're in growth mode. You're in scale mode. I mean, that's what you got to do.
Yeah.
So anyways, though, just figure out those numbers. So, sync up that bank account, sync up your credit card to QuickBooks. Okay. It's automatic. It syncs it up month to month and it gives you a profit and loss statement.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. You can do that. You are making the kind of money though, that you can have a bookkeeper or an accountant do this stuff for you.
That's what I wanted to ask you if it would be a good time to do something like that or hire at least like a clinic manager, or I didn't know what the best move would be. And then my other question was, do you keep those employees as 1099s or would you make them W-2 employees?
No, a manager or a receptionist or something. That's got to be W-2.
Okay.
You can contract out the RNs and contract out other NPs because they're professionals. But a manager or a receptionist or medical assistant's got to be a W-2. Okay.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, there's just no way around that. I mean, you could do it until you get audited, and then you have to repay back all those employment taxes, and that could be a lot of money.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And if you did an accountant, would you just like use, I'm sorry, it's like might be a stupid question, but like your tax guy, or would you you'd go out and hire an actual accountant?
I mean, you hire an accountant, that has their own accounting agency,
Okay.
Yeah, like I have one accountant. And he also does my bookkeeping. Well, he has someone else that does the bookkeeping. But yeah, I go through one accounting firm. They have access to all my bank accounts, my credit cards, all that stuff. They figure out all of this stuff for me every month. I don't have to dick with it. I don't got to think about it. Okay. It's worth the money.
Like that sounds awesome.
Yeah. When you're making 5+ figures a month in, profit and income, it's time to probably just get someone to do this. It's going to cost you a few $100s a month. Big whoop-de-doo.
Okay.
And they'll be able to provide you profit and loss statements every single month. It's all going to be right there for you. And then you start knowing your numbers and you can start seeing the growth. You can start seeing things change.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah. Find a good accountant and and make sure they do bookkeeping services as well. That way it's all in one place.
Okay. I will definitely do that.
And plus, the tax savings as well. I mean, having an accountant, that understands how to, deduct certain things through your business. I think that's going to be super critical to your success because, you're going to make more money as you grow. And so you need to figure out how to keep more of your own money.
Yeah, I've been thinking about taking your tax course too, because I think that'd also be very helpful.
Oh, absolutely. 100%. Because one thing you got to remember about accountants, okay, is that while they are professionals, they do not know everything. Okay. Do not trust your accountant 100%. They do not know of every single tax write-off that's afforded to a small business owner. All right.
Okay.
So you have CPAs, you have accountants, you have tax strategists, and you have tax lawyers. Each one of those people are going to know different things than the other. All right. Your accountant's job is to do nothing more than to basically file the tax return and to give you some advice. Okay. But they are not a tax strategist and they are not a tax lawyer. So that tax course that I developed was in collaboration with a tax lawyer and a tax strategist. There are things in there that my accountant didn't even know. So it's your job as the business owner to understand how you're going to legally reduce your tax obligations and actually execute the strategies necessary to do that. Very, very important as you grow.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so you are planning on hiring another RN for this second location?
Yes. Yep.
And you're the medical director overseeing these folks, I guess? That's how it's going to be structured? Perfect. Okay, so hire them as a 1099. That's fine. Kind of let them, make their own schedule or whatever and just, fill it up and just 1099 them every month. I'd pay them a production-based model. Reduces your risk.
Oh, okay. That's good to know.
If you pay them hourly, they're sitting there twiddling their thumbs. You're not making any money, right? So pay them a production-based model, however much for, doing a Botox injection or, whatever it is.
Okay. That's good. And you said, 1099. Okay. Yeah, that's great.
And the amount you pay them should be very lucrative. It should be a lot more competitive than what they would get paid, doing a travel assignment in the area or whatever. So.
Oh, really? Okay. That was like because when I was working as a 1099 employee, I really wanted the experience. So I didn't make very much money doing it. And it was mostly because I wanted to, learn from the person that was training me. So that's why I don't really know how to, exactly like what a good pay is or a good starting point it would be.
Well, do you have any idea what the average RN makes in your area?
Yeah, it's about 30, 35 an hour.
So if you're giving them a production-based model that results in $60 to $80 an hour, they're going to be happier than shit.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So, treat them well and they'll do a good job.
No, that's great.
Yeah. Always pay these people well because, they're the face of your business, they're the ones doing the work. Like it needs to be quality work and they need to be motivated. And that'll help drive more business in too because they're going to want the business to make the money.
Yep. That makes sense. And so you would do the same thing if I did integrate IVs, it would be, production based for like how many IVs they offer or
100%.
do. Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. Cause I know you want to do IV and like do some weight loss or some HRT and that kind of stuff. So whatever you can delegate to the RN, delegate it.
Okay. Yeah. That would be helpful too, to not have to do all the IVs and.
Oh, it's busy work. It's a waste of your time.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. IV infusion is a great service line, but it's laborsome. And so you as a nurse practitioner, you don't need to be doing that.
Yeah. And that's what I've noticed with like the B12 shots or the lipo shots. Those are repetitive, once a week. And so I was like, it'd be really nice to be able to delegate that to the RN as well.
Absolutely. You don't need to be doing that.
Yep.
Or even have like a medical assistant or something do that, that little piddly stuff like that.
That's a good idea.
Even cheaper, you know what I mean? As you grow this, you're going to need someone to answer the phones and that sort of thing. You can't expect your RN to be answering the phones while doing Botox injections and whatnot. And you're not going to be able to do all that as well. You're going to drive yourself insane.
Yeah, I know. That's where I'm like trying to decide. It's hard to decide when it's a good time to start bringing on more employees. That's what I've been struggling with. I'm like, well, what if I'm not busy enough by the time that I do hire somebody, or what if it slows down, or this recession hits, and then I really can't bring on more people. And so I guess that's my fear, is not, or bringing somebody on and then not having enough work.
Right. That's a legitimate concern. I was worried about the same thing as well, but this is what you have to remember, is that you want these people to grow with you. You don't want to, you don't want to throw someone into a shit show right from the start. And so it's more money out of your pocket at first. All right. because they might be sitting around not maybe doing a whole lot, but they could maybe get on your social media page and post something. I mean, there should be stuff that have them do,
Yeah.
but having them grow with you, they'll help you grow basically. I mean, they'll help you develop these systems and whatnot. Because I mean, for you to grow and scale, you need to develop systems within it. And so if you hire a medical assistant to be the receptionist, for example, they can kind of figure out what works and what doesn't. And you can develop systems in place, because they helped you figure it out.
Okay.
Like just buying a policies and procedures manual and throwing it down on a table and be like, read this and follow this. That's not going to work.
Yeah.
That's why I think buying just generic policies and procedures manuals are kind of a waste of money. You should develop the policies and procedures manual yourself based off of how it works for you. And so having, hiring a medical assistant there or the RNs or whatever, they can help you develop those procedures as you learn and grow.
No, that's great. Yeah. So did you, like, when you opened up one of your practices or one of your niches, did you wait a certain amount of time or a certain amount of until you had enough revenue to bring somebody on, or was it just when you felt like you were overwhelmed?
So at first, I kind of just did it all myself. All right. But when I opened up my men's health clinic, I was just like, God, doing this by yourself is such a hassle. And so I ensured that I hired someone right from the get-go.
Okay.
And that was, almost 4 years ago. And that medical assistant is still with me and he's my office manager now.
Oh, wow.
That's runs
awesome.
that practice.
That's great. And then did you hire another medical assistant when you promoted him, or does he do it all?
Well, he kind of still does everything too, but correct. Yeah. Like we have other medical assistants as well. It was basically the point was just like, hey man, we're getting busy and I'm struggling here. I'm like, time to hire another medical assistant then.
Okay. Yeah.
Then I hired another one. And then both of them were like, hey, we're getting busy. We need some help as well. If someone calls in. Okay. Then I hired another one. Like I just listened to my employees.
Yeah.
Awesome. Right.
That's great.
Right. You'll figure that out.
Okay.
Don't be one of those business owners that, oh, shut up, just work harder, quit bitching. Yeah. Don't be that way.
No, I always hated that when we worked at the hospital. So that I definitely don't want to be that kind of business owner.
Exactly. Don't be that person. Right. Yep. Make it a good place to work.
Yeah. Yep. So can we switch gears to marketing?
Sure. Well, do you have any other questions at all about growing or scaling?
Let me look. I wrote down a bunch of questions for you. Okay. You always talk about investing back into the business. Do you mean like just keeping money in your checking account to use on marketing and things and other things into the business, or adding more services, or what do you mean by that, I guess?
Yeah. Reinvesting back in the business. Yeah. So, I mean, a few different things. First and foremost, you need to have an emergency fund for your business, just like you have to have an emergency fund in your personal life, right?
Yep.
So you should have 3 to 6 months minimum in the bank in your personal life to keep your life afloat if all income stopped coming in. Same thing with your business, but I don't think you need to have 6 months worth. 3 months should be sufficient, because the chances of zero income coming into your business, I mean, what's the chances of that happening? Slim to nothing. If it does happen, it's time to close the doors, right?
Yep.
So keep 3 months in the bank for your business. So that's one thing on how to reinvest back in your business. Keep the money in the bank. All right.
Okay.
My men's health practice, I have at least $30,000 in that account at all times.
Okay.
If it gets below 30,000, I get concerned, or I just take a little bit less out for my own pay.
Okay.
Yeah. So I always keep that amount in the bank.
Okay. And that would cover like rent and, everything.
Exactly. Rent, payroll, those sorts of things. Right. That's just just in case shit happens sort of a thing. But
okay.
Yeah. I remember when COVID hit, I was like, I'm not worried about it. I didn't worry about it.
That's wonderful. Yep.
Yeah. And then another thing that you'll reinvest back into your business will be, be marketing, for example, new marketing campaigns or a new website, those sorts of things. I mean, you're only a year in, and I'm sure there's probably things that, might need to update on your website, for example, or hire an SEO specialist to optimize your website for, ranking higher on Google, for example. So that would be a worthwhile investment, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
New equipment, staff, employees. I think you got to get the gist of it. It's the same thing as investing your money, for retirement or in the stock market or whatever in your personal life. Okay. It's the exact same thing. So ask yourself the question, what's going to be my return on investment with this money? So basically, if I put this money back into my business by purchasing this service or product, what will be my return? Will I make money off of it? What's my return on investment?
Okay.
Okay. So for example, I will use like the weight loss course that I offer, for example.
Mm-hmm.
So for a $599 investment for you, you will end up then learning how to do weight loss, get all the forms, the consents, you'll get everything. Your return on investment, you will be break even after 2 patients from the course.
Yep.
Anything after that is a 100% profit.
Yep. That's great.
Right. So you're looking at thousands and thousands of percents of return on investment, basically. For a $599 investment to the weight loss course, you will get a 10,000% return on investment over a period of a year because you'll end up seeing a lot of weight loss patients. Or a marketing campaign, for example, you pay, $2,000 marketing in a local, gym or something like that, and you start getting patients from it, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense.
All right. I hope everyone's enjoying the episode so far. I just wanted to take a quick break to thank everyone listening and also give a big thank you to all of my social media followers and email subscribers. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to our email list at www.elitenp.com and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Email subscribers will receive updates on new weekly podcast episodes, multiple weekly articles we publish, new courses, and everything else related to helping you succeed. Remember, all Elite Nurse Practitioner courses are designed to help you build a niche practice, increase your financial strength, and to break free from the rat race. If I can break free and that other countless nurse practitioners can break free, then so can you. Additionally, please share this podcast with your other nurse practitioner sisters and brothers out there. The more NPs that venture out on their own, the stronger our profession will become. Now, let's get back to the episode.
That's what worries me about the lasers is how expensive they are. I worry that the return on investment isn't going to be good enough to that. Yeah. I don't know if you know much about lasers or have much experience with them or if you feel like they're worth it or not, but.
Well, I personally don't have experience with it, but talking with other people, it seems to be one of those things that it pays off big time or it bankrupted the practice.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah. So I guess let me ask you how much are one of these things?
Well, I just actually sat down today with a rep and he was throwing around like 100 to 160,000.
Ooh.
I mean, they are expensive.
I mean, that's a house.
I know. And they just like try to get you really in with like the payment. They're like, oh, the payment you only need to do, and I'm like, well, how much is the whole thing? But yeah, like between 100 to 160,000, they're very expensive.
Oh boy. Yeah. And how much do you charge for, one treatment?
He was talking about it was a radio frequency microneedling machine. And he was talking about package deals for like 2,000. So you would need to have one person buy a package to make the payment per month. But yeah, I'm probably going to steer away for a while. The thought of bankrupting my business, as a potential is just not something I want to get into right now. Maybe down the road. But
yeah, I tend to agree with you on that.
Yeah, it's just like, that's just a big purchase.
That's a big risk. I thought about buying a shockwave, for my men's health clinic.
Okay.
For erectile dysfunction or whatever. 30 to 50,000 bucks for one.
Wow.
And I'm sort of thinking to myself, like, that's a big investment. And I mean, I'm sure I'll end up, getting a return on investment on it at some point, but why fix it when it's working? It's working just fine. I'm making great money. Revenue continues to grow month after month. So.
Yeah, that's a great point. Don't fix it if it's not broke.
Exactly. You're doing pretty well with what it is now. I think that you integrating some much cheaper and lower risk services and products into your practice will, for one, give you a peace of mind and let you sleep at night, because at the end of the day, that's what matters, right? I mean, if you're not sleeping, what the hell's the point?
Yeah.
If you're anxious about it all the time, what the hell's the point? So
yeah.
IV infusion or weight loss, for example, has a super low barrier to entry, and it's not going to cost you anywhere near $100,000 to integrate into your business, right?
Yep, good point.
So I would say maybe steer away from it for a little while.
Do you have
other questions?
Do you have multiple men's health practices, like multiple locations, kind of like what I'm doing, adding another location, or do you just have one?
No, I got 2. I've thought about a third one, but I'm so busy with the lead NP anymore that it'd be really hard for me to do that.
Yeah, you are crazy busy. Is your location how far away is it? from your other location?
300 miles.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's quite a distance, but it was a place where there was
Yeah.
no competition.
Okay.
I could have expanded somewhere closer, but there's competition in those areas. So I was like, why would I do that? From the get go, I'm like, I'm going to hire a medical assistant. I'm going to hire a nurse practitioner. I'm going to hire people to run this for me because I'm not going to drive 300 miles to see patients. Right.
Yeah.
I can see them via telemed. That's not a problem. And I do
Mhm.
that, for new patients and follow-ups and stuff. I've never even seen them before, but that's how far it was.
Okay. Okay.
Any questions about that? Because like I said, I've opened the location up. It really wasn't that hard.
No, that was just like what I was just curious how far away they were because the my second location is going to be about an hour and a half away. So I wanted to, which is still a pretty good distance. And I just was curious how far away your clinic was.
Yeah, I don't see a problem with that. Absolutely. Any other questions in terms of growing and scaling?
Actually,
Okay.
yes. So if I wanted to add on men's health, there's no men's health where I'm at. I know you recommend DBAs, so you would do it under a DBA. And do you do that because of liability? Like you'd want, or do you do it because you want a separate name for the business?
Marketing.
Okay.
Just marketing. I mean, it's a marketing thing.
So you'd have a separate name.
Correct. Because when men are looking for a men's health clinic, they're looking for a men's health clinic.
That makes sense.
Or if someone's looking for medical cannabis evaluations, they're looking for a medical cannabis clinic. They're not looking for someone who owns, prestige health and aesthetics who happens to do cannabis evaluations on the side in there.
Okay. And do you recommend doing it out of a different location or just so that it has its own space and room and
I guess that just depends. I mean, if guys walk into an aesthetics practice, it's all pretty and frou-frou and all that kind of stuff, and they're going to go, what the hell's this?
Yeah. Okay.
So it depends. If you have more of a generic workspace, then I think that'd be okay.
Okay. That was my only other question was the DBA. I didn't know if it was like a liability thing, if you're trying to, I don't know, do something that way, or if it was about the name.
The whole liability thing, just make sure that, your malpractice policy is going to cover whatever it is that you do.
Okay.
So if you are going to add men's health, testosterone replacement therapy, growth hormone, that sort of stuff, you better make sure that they're going to be covering you. Okay.
Okay.
So marketing you want to talk about?
Yeah, I guess I just had a couple marketing questions. Google ads. So I've been doing some social media ads and sponsoring posts, and those have seemed to be doing really well for aesthetics. I've been able to bring in a few clients through that. And then I am working on my Google page to make sure it ranks high and have some reviews and everything. But Google offers you like Google ads, but they're like $1,000 a piece versus like the Facebook ones are like 35. So I was just curious if you feel like those Google ads are worth it, or do you do those at all? Or
I do Google search ads. Yeah. I think they work great, but they're a search ads. People are going to be searching for you. If you have competition in your area, then yes, they work great. If there's no competition in your area, then what the hell's the point? Because you're going to come up anyways.
Okay, that makes sense. So it's if somebody typed in Botox, I would be the first one to pop up if you pay for those sponsors.
In theory, yeah.
Okay. Okay, yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, I think they work great. I mean, I have a competitor about 50 miles south of me, and I have targeted Google search ads in that area. And then so when people type in, men's health, testosterone clinic or whatever in that city south of me, my search ad pops up. It says, stop paying so much in this city, drive an hour north, and it's, $50 cheaper or whatever. Like that's my ad. Yeah. It works. It works.
Okay. Yeah, that's good to know. That makes sense. Because there is lots of competition in aesthetics, especially, where I'm at too. So
no, there is. I mean, aesthetics is pretty cutthroat in a lot of places.
Yes, it is. Yeah. What are your thoughts on billboards? Do you feel like those are good social or good are worth it or good marketing?
So I think that billboards in general work good for the initial branding in your area for your practice, basically, like getting just the word out initially. So I wouldn't do a billboard for more than 3 to 6 months. Because think about it. The same old people are driving by that billboard day after day after day. After 3 or 4 months, everyone's seen it.
Yeah, that's true. That makes sense.
Right. So it's just more of an initial brand awareness thing. Hey, new practice just opened up. FYI, you get the word out in the community. And then after 3 months or so, cut it.
That's a good idea. Perfect.
They're expensive too.
Are they?
Billboards are expensive. Oh yeah. They're not cheap.
Yeah, I figured. And then I was reading too that sometimes you have to make sure like the photo that you use is, allows for it. And like if you had a headshot done that they allow for it. And so I just was curious if you do a lot of billboards.
I mean, I've done it before and they worked. I haven't done one in a while, to be honest with you. It was just more of like an initial thing.
Okay.
Back to the Facebook, Facebook ads are cheaper and you can generally target people more specifically, but it's more like cold calling. So with a Facebook ad, you're kind of just sending it out and you're hoping people are just interested, like you're driving interest, right?
Okay.
Don't think about it. You're on your Facebook feed or your Instagram feed or whatever. You're just scrolling, you're scrolling, and then boom, a little ad pops up for aesthetics or whatever. Oh, that sounds interesting. And then they click on it. So it's like someone just cold calling you, right?
Yep.
When you do a Google search ad, they're already interested because they're searching for it.
That makes a lot of sense.
It's a hot lead. Facebook's cold leads.
Oh, that's good to know. They don't teach you all this stuff in NP school.
No, of course they don't. I'd rather teach you about Care Bear science.
Yeah. Okay, that's good to know. So I will invest in some Google ads because that is true. When I Google something, you see those sponsored ones up top.
Yes, they work.
Yeah.
Now, your Google business listing is critically important as well. Make sure you have as many reviews as you possibly can on your listing. And you need to make sure that your website is optimized so you're organically rank high.
On the web. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
So the website you'd want to have just like keywords and
correct.
Right. Or
right.
Is that what they're called? Yeah.
Yeah. So be thinking to yourself, what are people going to be searching for? And then make sure that those keywords that they're searching for are in your website as many times as you possibly can.
Okay.
And so what you can also do is inside the images, you can actually embed words in the images that no one can see. And so you could just put Botox, 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 Botox aesthetics. Like you could just sit there and just put 100 different keywords in it. No one ever sees it, but it'll help with your search results.
Okay. Yeah, that's good to know too.
And having a blog on your website too is great for SEO because there's going to be a lot of keywords in those words, right?
Okay.
And your Google business listing, like I said, make sure you have as many reviews as you possibly can on that. Okay. That definitely helps as well.
Okay. Do you feel like it's unethical to like offer a discount for a Google review? What are your thoughts on that?
I personally don't think it's unethical.
Okay. Yeah, I don't either. I just was wondering if that was a thing, I guess.
It's more or less an incentive to leave a review, like this is the thing that people need to understand. Everyone has a life. And as soon as they walk out your door, they stop thinking about you, kids to pick up, grandma's sick, whatever. So they're going to forget. Like we'd appreciate a Google review. Oh, I'll give you one. And they never give you one. As soon as they walk out that door, they're done. So while they are in the door, you need to have them give you the Google review. And then that's when you give them the discount or whatever. Or you give them a free B12 shot or whatever.
Yeah. That'd be B12 shot would be a good idea.
Right. It costs you what, 15 cents?
Yeah. And people really like them. Yeah, that'd be a really good idea because I like sent out a mass text to all my friends and I was like, I need Google reviews to help me out, and then nobody did it. But I definitely think that Google reviews would be really helpful.
Absolutely. Oh, 100%.
I read them. I read them before I go somewhere, so I know how.
Yeah, everybody does. You go to a new town on vacation and go to a restaurant, you're looking at reviews.
Yep.
Right. It's no different.
Exactly. Perfect. Yeah. I think that was like all of my questions.
Okay. Yeah. Well, congratulations on your success. You've been open for less than a year and you're generating 10,000 plus a month in profit already. That's impressive. You're on the right track here.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I do have a strong passion for aesthetics and I've loved doing it. So it's so fun. And I really appreciate you and all your help that you give to the NP community. You've been incredible. And I read all your blogs, buy all your courses. And I just think you're so helpful. So I really appreciate you too.
Well, it's a pleasure to help. I'm glad it's helped you. And I hope that was part of your success. So I think that $1 million practice is definitely in your future, but it might be a couple years.
Okay.
So I think that, my biggest piece of advice for you is to just really start learning how to delegate work to others and trust the people that do a good job.
Okay.
Okay. So sometimes it's hard to let go.
Yeah, I'm a control freak. So that is definitely going to be hard, but I agree. I need more time for my family. And so it'll be good to delegate and to leave some of the accounting stuff to a specialist and somebody who knows much more than I do. Yeah.
Start delegating that busy work to other people. You need to be focusing on that income generating work. All the busy little piddly stuff needs to be, other people need to be doing that.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. So I think let go and let others do it. and you'll start having, more of your time back. I mean, when you're gone, you're not going to care about your money. When you're on your deathbed, you're not going to care about your money. You're going to care about your time.
Yeah.
It's a precious resource. How old are you?
I'm 29.
You're 29, so you're still young. Hell.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you are in a fantastic position here. Like, if you can learn how to delegate work to others, by the time you're 35 years old, you will be mid to high six figures probably in terms of income goes. You have other people doing work for you. I mean, you could probably be retired by the time you're 40, 45 years old.
Oh, wow. That would be incredible.
Yeah. Like, if you do it right, I guarantee you can make that happen. Because like, you are in a fantastic position right now. Like, there's other nurse practitioners listening to this that are a lot older than you that just wish they would have started when they were 29 years old. Hell, I wish I would have started when I was 29.
Yeah. Okay. That'd be awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I would like to end each episode with you asking me a question. Do you have any questions that you've always wanted to ask me?
I guess what would you say has been your most successful thing you've done as an NP? Would you say it's starting to lead NP, or would you say it was like your men's health clinic? Or
I would say the most successful thing I've probably ever done as a nurse practitioner is pick up on a super rare diagnosis and save someone's life.
Okay.
Like,
yeah. Yes.
Monetarily, my men's health clinic, one of my biggest achievements is the Elite NP, no question about it. I mean, I absolutely love doing this. We've helped thousands of people break free and change their life, So yeah, I mean, that's definitely my crowning achievement, I feel like. But in terms of just like the best thing I've ever done was probably when I pick up on. I remember I had a 5-year-old girl come in one time. Like, I'll never forget this. She was 5 years old. She came into the urgent care at 8 a.m. on a Saturday morning. Her mom brings her in, and she was complaining of lightheadedness. Like, what kind of 5-year-old complains of lightheadedness?
Yeah.
That's such a, I've never heard that complaint before from a 5-year-old.
Yeah, exactly.
Lightheadedness. What? And I don't know if it was intervention of God or something, but something told me to feel her pulse. And I felt her pulse, and it was just like all over the place. Like, what the hell? And I listened to her heart. I'm like, whoa. I do an EKG on her. It was just like multifocal PVCs. And I was like, what in the hell is this? And it was a direct admission to the pediatric hospital. And then the admitting doctor called me back, a couple of days later, was like, we transferred her to, the big state hospital and cardiology. She's like, you saved her life, man. I was like, he was like, what a find, what a pickup.
Yeah. So, wow. No, totally. You're right. I should have prefaced that question with more like a business NP question. Not yes. I totally agree with you that those are the most rewarding, and that's a great catch.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but yeah, monetarily and professionally, Elite NP probably, and then no, it was very good question though.
Okay, perfect. Well, thanks so much for your time. I really appreciate it. I know it's valuable.
Absolutely. I appreciate you hopping on here. I really do. Let's do a follow-up in 6 to 12 months or something. Just let me know.
Okay. Sounds good. Will do.
Awesome. All right. Take care.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye. I hope everyone enjoyed the conversation with Kim. She is doing a fantastic job. I mean, she opened her practice up a year ago, and she's already generating $10,000 to $20,000 a month in profit. I mean, it's very impressive. So I wish her a lot of luck. I think one of the big things to take away with this is that you have to get comfortable delegating work to others, and you have to get comfortable with investing money back into your business, reinvesting the money back into your business, okay? As a business owner, it can be hard to let go of control of tasks. If you want to grow or scale a business, you have to learn how to let go. You have to give the work to other people, trust them to do it, okay? It's very hard to do, and I battle with it personally. I still do to this day. So you have to learn how to delegate work to others. Let go of the control, right? Give it to other people. And what that will do is it'll give you more time, and ultimately it'll give you more money. And then also reinvesting money back into your business is how you grow it. Okay, that's how you grow your business. So reinvesting money back into your business, you reinvest money into the marketing, into new services, into new products, into employees. Okay, you will get a better return on investment reinvesting money back into your business than you ever will investing in the stock market or real estate. You will. Okay, the return on investment in a business is super high compared to other asset classes. So do not be scared of reinvesting money back into your business. All right, hope everyone enjoyed this conversation. I will talk to you guys later. Thanks. Bye. Thank you for listening to the show. Quick legal disclaimer. The content of this podcast is meant for informational and entertainment purposes only and should not be used as legal, financial, medical, regulatory, or practice-specific advice. For information pertaining to your specific legal, financial, medical, or practice-specific needs, please be sure to consult with your lawyer, CPA, medical director, and/or your state's practice laws and the most up-to-date clinical guidelines. As always, do your due diligence when it comes to any information found online and in podcast. The content in this podcast is copyrighted by Galaxy Medical Southwest 2022 and cannot be duplicated, rebroadcasted, or reproduced without our written permission.